Assalamualaikum. So this video will talk about ethics and disciplines among civil servants. So first of all, we need to know the meaning of ethics and discipline. The meaning of ethics is, ethics refers to the moral values that shape human behavior, while disciplines is compliance with organizational rules and standards. Both of these elements are very important to ensure that public sector organization runs efficiently with integrity and are trusted to people. Disciplines of civil servant is very important to make sure that the organization runs smoothly and free from abuse of power. They are not just policy implementers but also reflects the image of government. If there is no discipline, the service becomes weak and will lose the people's trust.
Lack of transparency also one of the issue in civil servant. Transparency is crucial to prevent abuse of power and corruption. Effort to reform governance include proposal to limit the terms of office for key political position to curb potential power abuse. Enhancing electoral institution effectiveness and transparency is also vital for restoring public trust.
After that, damage reputation. A lack of transparency can have serious negative consequences in various contexts, such as in government, business, education, or personal relationships. Organizations or leaders that are not transparent risk losing public confidence. Once damaged, reputation is hard to rebuild and can impact everything from stock prices to public support. When change is implemented without clear communication, people may resist or sabotage it due to fear or misunderstanding. Failure to disclose required information can result in legal penalties or regulatory sequence, particularly in finance, healthcare, and government.
Corruption in Malaysia is often attributed to weak law and enforcement mechanism. Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) Act 2009 serves as the primary legal framework to combat corruption. To enhance its effectiveness, the government introduced the National Anti-Corruption Plan (MACP), aiming to foster a culture of integrity and align anti-corruption efforts.
The impact of ethics integrity among civil servants, firstly, is economic damage. Corruption diverts public funds into private hands, reducing resources for essential like education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
Apart from corruption, lack of accountability also the issue in civil servant. A lack of accountability among civil servant underestimate public trust and organisation efficiency. Malaysia Administrative Modernisation Management Planning Unit Mampu has introduced guidelines to enhance public sector service and promote accountability. Transformational leadership and ethical culture are essential in fostering accountability and improving work ethics.
Next, loss of respect and trust. A lack of accountability can have several negative impacts across personal, organizational, and societal levels. When individuals or institutions are not held accountable, trust erodes among team members, citizens, or stakeholders. Whether it's a leader, team, or organization, failing to own up mistake diminishes credibility and respect. It can create a toxic environment where people avoid taking initiative and responsibility. When people are not held accountable, mistakes often go uncorrected. This can lead to financial, legal issues, or reputation damage.
Ethical dilemmas is one of the issue in civil servant. Civil servant often face ethical dilemmas such as being pressured to approve illegal activity for personal gain. Organization must encourage reporting of wrongdoing and support employee in making ethical decisions.
Besides that, emotional stress and burnout. Individuals may feel internal conflict, anxiety, or guilt when forced to choose between competing ethical principles. Repeated or poorly managed ethical conflicts weaken the ethical framework of a workplace, encouraging more unethical behavior. If poor choices are made in response to ethical dilemmas, it can lead to long-term damage to personal or organizational integrity.
Conflict of interest occur when personal interests interface with professional duties. Policies are in place to manage such a situation, requiring disclosure and proper management to prevent undue influence on business decisions. Transparency International Malaysia also emphasizes avoiding favoritism and ensuring fair decision-making process.
Lastly, legal or regulatory consequences. A conflict of interest occurs when an individual or organization has competing interests or loyalties that can potentially influence their decisions or action unfairly. Many industries have strict rules about conflicts of interest. Violations can lead to lawsuits, fines, or disqualifications. Individuals may unfair advantage use their position to benefit themselves or a society, undermining fairness and integrity. Internal and external relationship can suffer when others feel deceived or disadvantaged by someone acting out of self-interest. Tolerating conflict of interest can lead to a culture of corruption where unethical behavior becomes normalized. Thank you.
So as the conclusion, we can see that disciplines, ethics and integrity are very important in ensuring that the public service runs effectively and gains the public trust. Despite many efforts, we still face major issues such as corruption, abuse of power, ethical dilemmas, lack of transparency and failure of leaders to implement disciplinary actions. All of these have a negative impact on the country's administrative system. If all parties play their roles consistently, it is not impossible that we can achieve a public service that is efficient, transparent and trusted by the people. That's all from us. Thank you. From the studio. So now I'm at Balai Polis Jalan Kriminal, and today after reviewing the case, now I will continue with the recommendation. First of all, the government can strengthening legal and regulatory frameworks, enhancing anti-corruption laws. So, we need to improve the law to stop the bribery, stealing public money and misuse of power. This law should cover all the types of corruption and be enforced properly so that no one can break them without the consequences. Moreover, the government can increase the penalties for corruption. The punishment for corrupt actions should be tougher. This may higher fines and longer jail times or other penalties that make people think twice before doing anything dishonest. So lastly, protect the whistleblowers. People who report the corruption, the government should protect them so that they don't get punished or treated badly. This encourage more people to speak up about the corruption and help to catch the corrupt activities early. So this way, by improving laws and protection, we can better fight corruption and make sure our government works fairly and effectively. So I will continue with the second recommend. So I recommend that we can fostering a culture of ethics and integrity, ethics training and awareness. The government can provide regular ethics training for all civil servants. With all government workers, no matter what position, should take ongoing training about ethics and integrity. This help everyone understand the importance of honesty and fairness to their work. So They can run awareness campaign regularly. Besides training, regular campaign remind civil servant why ethics and integrity matter, keeping these values strong in their daily life. Research show that well-designed ethics training help government employees recognize ethical issues, make better decisions, and act with integrity. It can also reduce unethical behavior when combined with other anti-corruption efforts. Okay, I will continue with the third recommendation. So, the government can enhance public trust and engagement, open communication channel. The government can create clear ways for communication, set up easy and effective way for the public to communicate with government, so that they can report the corruption activities without. This help build trust and make sure that the government more open about what it does. So the citizen can give quick and honest response. So the government can answer the question and the public will have their answers quickly. So by improving communication and involve public, governments can build stronger trust, encourage transparency, and make sure officials act with responsibility. Then, so for the fourth, leveraging technology using digital tools for transparency and accountability. First, we can use the technology to make government work clearer. Government can use digital system to make process like buying goods, delivering service, keeping records more transparent. This means information are easier to access and check. So, the government can use data and analytics to spot the problem. By analyzing large amount of data, government can detect unusual patterns or warning signs that might indicate corrupt practice. This help officials investigate and stop corruption before it grows. So, digital governance improves trust by making government actions visible and understandable to the public. It also speeds up services, reduces paperwork, and allows citizens to participate more actively in holding governments accountable. So for the last recommendation, assign responsibility to individuals and leadership. So in individual responsibility, every government official must take the main responsibility to spot and report any conflict of interest. This means they need to be honest and open about any personal interest that might affect their official decision or work. So leadership, by example, senior manager and leaders should show strong commitment to the ethical behavior. By acting with integrity themselves, they set a positive example for others and make it clear that conflict of interest will not be tolerated. When individuals on their responsibility and leaders lead with integrity, it builds a culture where honesty and fairness are valued. This helps prevent corruption and ensure that public trust is maintained. That's all from me, from Dicipline News. So at the conclusion, we can see that discipline, ethics and integrity are very important in ensuring that the public service runs effectively and gains the public trust. Despite many efforts, we still face major issues such as corruption, abuse of power, ethical dilemmas, lack of transparency and failure of leaders to implement disciplinary actions. All of these have a negative impact on the country's administrative system. If all parties play their roles consistently, it is not impossible that we can achieve a public service that is efficient, transparent and trusted by the people. That's all from us. Thank you.